Hey you guys, so today is kind of cold and I really don't want to be outside right now, but this weekend is going to be a lot colder. I think we getting down to about 11 degrees Fahrenheit. So I am here to cover some plants as protection. However, I will not be covering some things that I usually cover because I am just done with it. Now the first thing I'm going to cover is this fig that I planted at the end of last summer or summer 2023. Now this is a Chicago hardy fig and it's supposedly hardy to zone 5, and we have been recently upgraded to zone 7. So theoretically, this should be fine. However, this Arctic blast that is coming, the temperatures are way too low for this fig to be safe. So I'm just going to protect it. And this is a newly planted tree too, so they always need a little bit of extra protection because it's not like 100% rooted anyway. So what I have here is some leaves. I always love to stash some fall leaves behind the garage. First to use in compost, to cover the beds, and it's great for protection of newly planted plants or something that I'm zone pushing. I also have a tomato cage here turned upside down right here, and I'm going to just put all of the leaves inside and cover it with the frost blanket. All right, so this plant is protected now, and I know it looks kind of funny, and I'm sure my neighbors are wondering what in the world, but you know, we're not going for a fashion show here or something super attractive. I just want to make sure that this plant survives the severe weather that is coming our way. So there's leaves inside, frost blanket on the outside, and I just tied it in case we have any high winds. Now, one thing I wanted to mention is that a lot of times people try to cover just the crown of the plant or the top of the plant. You actually have to use the frost blanket all the way to the ground because there is ground heat that is coming from Earth and is going to warm up the interior. So that should help protect this plant from the Arctic blast that we have coming our way. All right, let me show you a plant that I will not be covering, and it's these Hydrangea Macril or big leaf hydrangeas. These are older varieties and they bloom exclusively on old wood. So all of these flower buds with this coming freezing weather will freeze and the plant will not bloom. So what I normally do is I run out here and I cover everything with frost blanket, regular blankets, leaves, all sorts of protection, and it's very labor intensive. But what I decided to do is rehome these plants and give it to someone who is way more energetic than me and has more time to cover them for the winter. And I'm going to replace these with newer varieties that are reblooming. So they bloom both on old wood and new wood. So even if we have cold blast like this, they still will bloom. Another thing I need to do today is put a deicer in the pond, because if there's ice on the surface, it can create a lot of harmful gases underneath because there's no air exchange. And you need some sort of hole to create that air exchange, and this is what deicer does. I did break a little bit of ice here this morning. You're not supposed to break ice because it can shock the fish, but I did it very carefully, so I hope they're okay. Now, I'm not a pond expert, but this is something that I do every winter and the fish does great. So all I do is just place the deicer in the pond and I just have to turn it on. All right, there's one more plant that I wanted to cover today, and it's this little gem southern magnolia. I am just going to use frost blankets, double layer. I'm not going to use leaves because magnolias do better in our area than figs. So all I'm going to do is just cover it and secure the blanket with some rocks on the side. And just want to make sure that's covered all the way to the ground so the ground heat warms up the interior and protects the plant. And another thing I want to do is bring these hyacinths inside. They've had enough of the chill period. Of course, I had some damage from some squirrels. They dug up the bulbs, but they didn't eat them because hyacinths are poisonous. So I will just plant them back in the pots and they'll be okay. And I would say about a month from now they will bloom, which is awesome. All right, you guys, this is it for today. It actually turned out to be a pretty nice gardening day. I know it's cold, but it was just nice to be outside and doing something with plants. It always feeds my soul. So if you need to go out there and protect some plants that you're either newly planted or use zone pushing, right now is a good time. If you have Arctic blast coming, if you're already in the grips of really cold weather, it may be too late. So you'll find out what happens to your plants, I guess, in the spring. But I hope this is helpful, and I hope that the sound was okay, because I had to put this microphone over here, like, you know, the hoodie is kind of sticking out. It's not pretty, but, you know, we'll just go with it. Anyway, thank you so much, you guys, for watching today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.